can I tell you, I have decided that for the first time in my life, it's a bit like going to Waitangi for the first time, in my opinion. I'm off to Fieldays. I'm going to go there on Saturday. I'm flying up to Tauranga Friday. I'm going to drive over from Tauranga to Mystery Creek on Saturday and see Fieldays in all its glory. And it is a big deal. Fieldays, I think, started yesterday at Mystery Creek near Hamilton. All the politicians go there. It's like going to Ratana or going to Waitangi, isn't it? And you go and grease up the farmers, basically. But Fieldays comes out as new figures are released showing that 14% of this country's overseas income or primary exports are from primary industries, 14% of GDP, $56 billion a year. And that is the single highest, I think, sector on exports, which shows that farming is, as they always tell us, the backbone of the country. And joining us to talk about Fieldays and what it means is from Federated Farmers is Toby Williams, who I think is the chair of their beef and wool section, and he's from Gizzy. He's from Gisborne, I'm pretty sure, or Te Rawhiti. Toby, welcome. How are you, mate?
Sean, really good.
Good. You are from Gisborne, right?
That's 100% correct. Yeah, I live halfway between Gisborne and Tolaga Bay. So.
Okay. So on these Cape, did you drive through a Potiki to get to Fieldays?
We did drive through a Potiki, and we've got to drive back through tonight. It's on the way home.
How did it strike you?
We saw nothing. Never saw anything at all.
Okay.
But, I feel for the people there, and we deal with it in Gisborne as well. It's, feeling unsafe in your own neighbourhood is just not that pleasant.
But please say they're just like Rotary clubs, these gangs, aren't they? They're all part of the community. This guy who died, I'm amazed he didn't have a knighthood, from what I read in the mainstream media.
Yeah, I know. It's like we try to still steer clear of them as much as you can. We down where I live, we've got coastal camping, and they do come and camp here every year. Yeah. And some of them are reasonable people. You can get along with them well enough, but there's always that element in them, isn't there? That you just how can you trust them? Or there's that streak that on some of them that they're not particularly pleasant people. So
yeah. Well, let's talk about the gang you belong to, and that's the farming gang. Those figures on primary exports as a percentage of GDP, 14%. There's no way you can say farming still isn't massive and important to New Zealand, right?
No, correct. Yeah, and it is, and we are an agricultural, a nation, and we've got to look at. The GDP is one thing. We've got to look at our foreign export earnings, which drive our current account. Without farming, our current account, which is already in massive deficit, would be way worse. We've got to sell something to the world to be able to buy our phones or our TVs or our tractors and all those sort of things. So without farming, we have nothing.
All right, and that makes Fieldays, which is, would you call it the biggest farming event of the year?
Oh, 100%. It's the biggest in the Southern Hemisphere, and it's one of the top 5 in the world in terms of events and scale. So it's a very, very important event on the farming calendar. And, and it's incredible to be here. And you're going to come along on Saturday, you'll be blown away. It is just mind-boggling how big it is and how much and how impressive it is. The stands, these guys build weeks and weeks and weeks to build these stands here and showcase what they have for the world, but also welcome their loyal customers and clients in, and show them a good time too. Yeah.
What are the themes this year, Toby? Is there something that's cool, or is the buzz weird?
There's a new technology tent, talking about sustainability and the primary industry. So I haven't actually been in there yesterday, but I head along there today and have a look. It's all about emerging technology and how technology can make our farming more efficient. How can we can reduce our emissions profiles and things like that, and about communications and technology driving that. Obviously, you just still got to pull your boots on and go and do the hard mahi, but that's sort of where we're heading, and it's a really exciting sort of direction for our primary sector we're heading into.
Strikes me too, farming is getting more political than it used to be, Toby, and I know there is, if you like, some competition for representing farmers, and I think you guys, Federated Farmers, have probably upped your game a little bit as Groundswell has kind of purported to be the voice of the farming community, all the politicians turned up. I mean, apparently Winston and Hipkins fell over each other yesterday at Fieldays. There seems to be a lot of politics, a lot of buzz around politics in farming at the moment. Do you get that vibe at Fieldays as well?
Yeah, we did. So we met up with the Prime Minister yesterday, and he was at a couple of functions I was at speaking. And so it's nice to be recognised in a positive light by the politicians, because the last couple of years, especially, it's been very negative from the politicians and the way they want to treat our farmers, or how their legislation has been perceived as working, and the effects it potentially has on us. Farmers want to improve. We want to do things better, but we want to be in the room actually talking, have a genuine conversation, no tokenism.
Well, I imagine Luxon would be wildly popular because he's put off the ETS compliance thing till 2030. Yeah,
look, it's a step in the right direction, isn't it? And I haven't seen Christopher Luxon here at all, but it's certainly a step in the right direction. I think the last couple of weeks, what we've seen from both the National Party and the Labour Party is a reset of how they're thinking about, treating farmers and how they're looking at the regulations and trying to maybe walk back a little bit on what they've said, and listen to us a bit more. So we get something, we're taking everybody along with us. That's the key. We need to carry farming with you. Without us, farmers just dig their heels in and you end up going nowhere, which is what we've seen with some of the Labour policies that they've had to have a harder look at and how they're going to implement them.
Yeah, all right. And Winston Peters and Seymour there as well, putting the gumboots on,
Yeah, they're all putting the gumboots on and they're having a wander around and showing that, that they've actually got a bit of mud on their gumboots and they're farmers' best mates. It takes a bit more than a yarn around field days to convince a farmer you're your best mate. But look, good on them. And I think...
Yeah, look, I love you saying that, Toby, because, look, I've got a friend from the Indian community who's been involved in National Party politics. And one of her great lines is, oh, yeah, so you're getting some Indian woman to sari up for the National Party, right? So you go after the Indian vote. And, you throw the gumboots on, you go to Fieldays, and I'm a man of the people. And, Massey Ferguson, blah, blah, blah. Our farming community and farming communities are such practical people, they're not going to buy that sort of stuff, are they? They're not going to buy a swan dry that's been ironed by the maid.
No, 100% not. No, we're genuine, we're real people, and, we're interested, we want to engage politicians. People want, but they want to be left to their own devices. Do you want to be a genuine farmer? Come on farm and pick up a handpiece. Put your gumboots on and go and milk a cow. Having the smiley opportunities with some brand new gumboots on doesn't, it looks cool for the urban media and the urban people, but farmers sit there and roll their eyes and go, well, what?
Well, I'm breaking out my Akuba and all my RM Williams. I'm going along. I got to work Friday here, and I was going to fly up to Tauranga and drive over to Mystery Creek early on Saturday morning. If someone's never been to Fieldays before, Toby, and I imagine you've been to a few, mate, how do I approach this as a Fieldays virgin?
Be prepared for the traffic.
Okay.
Traffic coming in, you have a bit of patience around you. And then, download the app onto your phone. That's a great way to find out where you are and have your location going.
Yeah.
And then just have a chat with these guys. Have some really incredible stuff. You won't get around it all in a day efficiently. But you can hit the high.
So I am going to have to highlight, because Saturday's the last day, isn't it?
It is the last day, yeah. So
and it's the busiest because it's public?
Yeah, it's the busiest because we typically get a lot more town people in. A few less farmers and a lot more town people. But you can also pick up some incredible deals because these guys don't want to pack all this stuff up and take it home with them. They'd rather you jump it,
Deals.
Put it in your
what
bag
could I possibly want as an urban dweller and a journalist? What would I buy at Fieldays that might be a deal for me, Toby?
Oh, you can get some gardening, gardening equipment.
Don't garden. I've got an orchid on my desk, yeah. Any fishing, would they have any fishing gear or outdoor gear?
Yeah, fishing and outdoor gear. All the hunting guys are here. There's incredible clothing deals, power tools, all that sort of stuff. Everything you could think of is here and more.
You
can go in and see all these guys. But the clothing deals are really, really good. The hunting fishing are here. I think there's Seeker, and they've always got huge stands, these guys. and and really good stuff.
And do you have to pay for parking? And is there plenty of parking, or should I plan to be walking long distances?
There's plenty of parking. You will have to walk quite long distances, and no, you don't have to pay for parking, but you do need to make sure you got your ticket before you come. Or you can buy tickets here, but they don't take cash for your ticket.
I was going to buy online and then print it off before I went.
Yeah, you print it off or leave it on your phone and just use your phone as your entry, and then away you go. And the one key thing, when you park your car, pin your car location so you can remember where it is. And you'll see when you get here on Saturday, you will see what I mean about the number of vehicles here. That is absolutely enormous.
Okay, a lot of utes.
Yeah, a lot of cars. You could turn up to the Federated Farm stand in the Bishop Creek Event Centre there, and you get a bumper sticker for your car saying no more ute tax, and stick that, and you can drive that around for us. It'd be pretty handy.
I've got enough problems with bumper stickers, as it were. I've got to order some myself for the platform. Now, Toby, and this is a secret conversation that never took place. If I was, and I don't have a stand at Fieldays, if I was to take in a bag with a few platform T-shirts, do you reckon I'd get away with handing them out to people I liked?
Definitely.
All right.
Everybody loves something free here. Bumper stickers, T-shirts, you name it. You'll find a farmer more than happy to take it off your hands.
All right. Toby, thank you for that beginner's guide. And can I say congratulations to your sector for those primary export statistics. 14% of GDP, 56 billion a year is being made by our farmers in our primary production community. So you kind of deserve your big day out at Fieldays, don't you?
Yeah, really appreciate it. Thank you. And having the support of urban people is incredible. It really buoys the farmers.
Yeah.
And to know that you guys have got our backs and we're not alone in all this stuff. So we really,
certainly
really
aren't,
appreciate
Toby. Certainly aren't. I thank you. Good talking to you. Toby Williams, Federated Farmers beef and wool guy from Gizzy. And actually, I did want to talk to him to get a kind of idiot's guide, beginner's guide to Fieldays. And yes, I'm not taking my Rangy. I'm borrowing a mate's one and driving over from Tauranga on Saturday. Look, if everyone's been to do I wear gumboots? I was going to put an old pair of R.M. Williams boots on. I thought they'd do for it, or I could just wear sneakers. What's the best garb? I'm, of course, going to wear a T-shirt, a platform T-shirt, maybe the platform hoodie and a platform cap. I'll leave the Akuba at home. I'm not going to go full farmer. And how many T-shirts should I take? I'll just have them in a bag over my back or something, because it's a little bit of a marketing trip too. Sean, much more positive and brighter than a potiki. Yeah, I'd love a call from people in a potiki. Sean, load the truck with free T-shirts. Let's roll. Well, I'll put a through, and I'm flying up from Wellington though. Friday afternoon. Dirty job. Someone's got to do it. I want a platform Fieldays report on Monday, says Jono. Okay, Jono, I'll give you a platform Fieldays report. Sean, I love the Fieldays. I always top up my supplies of limoncello. Great price and the best around. So much to do and see. Great food shows and alcohol tasting, says Monique. Oh, geez, I've got to drive back to Tauranga, and I'm slightly on the wagon at the moment, to be honest. You'll never know till you go, someone else says about Fieldays. And if you've already been to Fieldays, if you've got a recommendation for me, I am not going to get to see the whole thing on Saturday. I want some recommendations, people. What are the best exhibits this year? What are the best exhibits this year? Sean, it's been negative against farmers longer than the last couple of years, more like 7+. Enjoy the Fieldays. I look forward to an honest opinion. Yeah. Is it going to be like a massive AMP show or what? Now, this is weird, Glenn. Where did this question come from? Ask him why the golf balls were banned. I've got no idea what you're on about, Glenn. Why not ring in and tell us on 0800 33